Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Rome Floyd Chamber Show here on Rome Business Radio. We are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios in downtown Rome, Georgia on Broad Street. I am Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio.
I'm Carly Parker with the Rome Floyd Chamber. And today on our podcast, we have some very special guests, Tayesha Lytle and Julie McCluskey. They are our ambassadors, more specifically, our chair and co-chair.
Wow. Hello, ladies.
Very
How are
important
we?
people.
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us. Very important
Thanks for
people, you
having
say?
Yes.
Yes. Very.
Because they are like the extension of the Chamber's brand in the
Yes.
community, and
That's a good way to put it. We're basically brand ambassadors.
and first impressions sometimes, I
Yes.
would imagine,
Yes.
if
Yes.
you're out
Yes.
recruiting and things like that. So you've handed me 3 pages of talking points here, Carly. But what is a chamber is paragraph 1. So,
Hey, a lot of people don't know.
yeah.
Yes.
So I guess we could start from there, the building blocks and what got you guys involved. And so let's just, what's the Chamber's mission and how do the ambassadors help you in that, Carly?
So we have obviously a lot of missions, but our number one is to basically make an economy in our county thrive. We are pro-business. We want our businesses to do well. And as the Chamber, we are pretty much your representative. And we take the ambassadors to help us spread this message.
Okay. So the ambassadors typically are Chamber members.
Yes, they do have to be Chamber members.
and they're involved from their own business perspective, and they just help spread the gospel.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I'd say that's a pretty good description of it.
Amen.
Amen.
Let's get Bible Belters on us. So what does that mean for you guys?
Well, I originally just joined in here in Rome about going on 5 years in July. And so the Chamber is the very first place that I was involved with the hotel. And I have just grown to love and understand what they do. And I want to be part of the mission and serve the community as well. So it's just, it's so much that's offered through the Chamber, and you wouldn't even believe it. And you hear people say, "Oh, what is the Chamber for? What is the Chamber for? What?" Like, I saw you on Facebook, and you're so involved, you're everywhere. And I'm like, you just have to have all kinds of jacks of trades to get through. So.
Well, you mentioned the hotel, so a lot of people may know you in town from having worked at a downtown hotel. You've started your own little venture here as well recently and left the hotel, but you maintained your connection with the Chamber.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll talk about your venture in a minute, but let's talk ambassadorship with you now.
Okay.
So
I got involved. It was the fall of 2021. It was when the big membership drive happened. And a board member, so I work for Rome Shakespeare Festival, which is a nonprofit. So we have a board of directors, and one of our board members at that time worked for the Chamber. And he was like, "Hey, a good contact for you to be able to make a lot of contacts, a good way is to come be a part of the Chamber. So can you come volunteer and make a bunch of calls for this organization to get them to join?" And I was like, "I have no idea what it does, but sure, this sounds great." So I went, and it was a lot of fun, and I met a lot of people. And then
you were just trying to sell Shakespeare tickets.
Yes,
weren't
I
you?
was. Yeah, secretly. I was like, "Hey, listen, I'm supposed to be calling you about this, but here's this other thing I want to interest you in." And they heard Shakespeare and they hung up on me. No.
No, it's my 7th grade teacher.
Exactly. Yes. So then he asked me if I wanted to if I was interested in being an ambassador, and I said, "Yeah, that sounds great." I met a lot of people, and from there, that started 2022, which is how I met Tayesha. We started then, and that's how I learned really what a Chamber of Commerce actually does, because I wasn't quite clear. And I mean, basically, it's an advocacy group for businesses and even nonprofits. Nonprofits can be members as well. And they have a nonprofit alliance as one of their collabs.
Yeah.
See, Carly's giving me the good job, Julie. You said collab, because that's a reason.
We have 9 of them. We have 9 of them, guys.
Yeah.
Define collab, please, for our listeners.
Collab is pretty much a collective of people, businesses that pertain to your problem, and pretty much we have workshops for all kinds of different to break that down.
They used to be kind of committees, but people don't love the word committee.
Yeah.
I think collaborate.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Try to figure out what is affecting those industries so much. So, we can get in that to later, but I don't want to take away from Julie's.
Yeah. So then I became an ambassador and met a lot of people. Was able to make a lot of contacts for nonprofits. It works really well because you need donors, right? And so it gives you a lot of access to a lot of different businesses that are interested in giving back to the community, but they might not know how. And so it's a good way for you to kind of meet up with them and say, hey, I have this thing you might be interested in donating to it, tax deductible, all that good stuff. And so I stayed on, and now I'm co-chair with Tayesha and doing a lot of other stuff. They see me a lot. I'm surprised they're not tired of me yet, actually.
We appreciate all y'all's time.
Well, it's interesting that you both kind of stuck your toe in the water to be just chamber members.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And now you are like spreading the word. So it's obviously something you believe in that was very helpful. So you can speak from this personal experience when you're talking to others about it, right?
Yes, yeah,
absolutely.
And the message as you delivered it, is it more about recruiting or branding or assisting people to help them with their connectivity within the chamber? What is
as far as ambassadors go?
Yeah.
Kind of
it's like
everything.
It's little everything.
Yeah.
So I find it as a networking opportunity, and you take your networking and you turn it into business. You grow relationships. You find where you fit in, and it might have been something you didn't know about or you heard about, and you're like, oh wow. Going to some of the ribbon cuttings, we're the first ones there at some of the businesses, and you get to see what they offer, and now you're a customer. So it's just,
and then they get to meet you and see what you offer, and
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Let's talk about just quickly. What's your entrepreneurial thing you've got going on here? Because I teased that a minute ago.
Absolutely. So I originally joined the chamber for my independent pamper chef.
No,
yes.
really?
Oh, I was a pamper chef girl. I hated making the videos.
Do you still do that? I need a new pizza stove.
I do still do that. Come see me. But I started with the pamper chef originally outside of the business hotel world, and then I decided to leave the hotel, and I started a hospitality, which hospitality entails everything. It's anything leisure, anything, travel, everything. So currently just doing some consulting with it. But my ultimate goal is to bring things to Rome for the kids. And you hear a lot of, surveys being done and things happening around Rome, and everyone, the first thing is, we need a Dave & Buster's. Well, I can't do a Dave & Buster's, but you hear all of these parents and, business owners asking for things for the kids to do. And so my ultimate is to bring that to Rome and to bring, it's 2 years away, looking for investors, but a trampoline park is like something great for the kids to do. And so that's what I want to do, and whatever it takes to get to that point, I'm here for it. And so I've actually had the pleasure of joining in with the Small Business Development Center that worked with the Chamber and the DDA on a small business training for entrepreneurs, and it was like,
is that University of Georgia that does?
Yeah, that's the UGA. I got a UGA certificate, guys.
Nice.
I'm not a bulldog though, but so
What's wrong with you?
hey, not from Georgia originally. That's what's wrong. I'm a North Carolina girl.
Oh no!
So, hey, back.
Wow,
but
this turned ugly.
It could, yeah. I've lived in Kentucky for a while, so we don't like North Carolina.
but being involved in
Are y'all
that,
talking basketball?
We are now. We're getting distracted.
but being involved with the chamber, and all the collabs, I've had the pleasure of being on the minority initiative that just started with the collabs, the ambassador and Leadership Rome. So you just finished Leadership Rome.
Yeah, we graduate in May. I'm class 40.
I was in the COVID class.
Oh, that was a tough one.
It was weird. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we still got it done.
Okay, for those who don't know, what is Leadership Rome?
Leadership Rome. How to describe it?
Have I stumped the ambassador?
No,
it's a program that helps you to gain leadership skills. And to learn how to network and learn how to, use your resources and get involved in different sectors of, Rome. So you got the government, you got the healthcare,
so you
got the industrial. So you get to go and sightsee at some of these and visit and learn what they do and why they do it. And
basically it's a way to learn leadership skills while also learning really how your city and county function from the government standpoint, from a healthcare standpoint, from a business standpoint, from a nonprofit standpoint. Like, so you do all of these, you meet once a month and go to these different things, whether it's a local meeting, like we went to Ball aluminum cups where they made the cups, and got to see how all of that worked and learn about their business. And then the other day we went to the Eco Center and got to plant some plants that go along our trails and learn what the Eco Center does. So it's really a way for you to learn leadership skills while also understanding how to implement those leadership skills within your city and your community.
And how does you mentioned there's classes? How is this an annual thing, Carly, or how does this get set up, and how do people get involved in that?
Well, so it is a 9-month program. Okay. We actually just took nominations. It is closed now, so applications will be going out. It is a very selective process.
Yes, you have to be nominated by somebody
or yourself.
Yes, okay, and then you apply, and then there's people that go through the applications and pick. We have, I believe, our class is 24, I think, and that was out of like 80 applications.
Yeah, we
last year.
We had a record high nomination of like 93 people got nominated. So it is very, very selective. It is a great program.
It really is.
And again, if you didn't make it the last year or even this year, we continue. Please apply again. Like, we want to see that. That definitely is something if you're really wanting to get involved.
And then they're the Leadership Rome alumni group, so that if you've been through it, you can pay just $50 and you get to go to different events, and then you get to meet the new classes and meet some of the older classes, and again, another kind of networking opportunity.
I was going to say, seems like from a ribbon cutting to Leadership Rome, everything it just involves networking. You're meeting other chamber members, and you're creating perhaps growing relationships in business for yourself.
Well, and it's interesting too, because you kind of learn that there are certain businesses that are having the same issues, but they might not know that there are other businesses. And once they get together and they start talking, they're like, oh, and then they can go to Pam or Carly or anybody at the chamber and be like, hey, we're having this issue, whether it's, I don't know, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Workforce is a big issue.
Yeah, that is the biggest thing right now. We can't get any, and then Pam and her group, like Alex and Amber, the whole crew can go, whether that's to our local government or to the state government, be like, hey, here are the issues that we are having from a business standpoint in our community. How could you help us? And they kind of fight for it in that way.
Well, and you mentioned earlier, like, for example, ribbon cuttings. So this is another thing the chamber does, and just take us through that process. New businesses or current members who open a new location.
So we kind of revamped a lot of different events because we definitely want.
We have to give props to Carly because she's came in about
8 months ago,
and she has done so much
absolutely
revamping of so many of the old programs that were there to make them much more specific, much more useful. And so she has done, in 8 months that she's been at the chamber, she has done a lot of work.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I definitely could not have done it without you guys for sure. But so we revamped a bunch of different events, as you can kind of see on the page I gave, the 3 pages I gave you.
Yes, what am I looking at here? Am I looking at these events? Is that what we're looking at? Ribbon cutting. Open house. We'll go down with some of them. Ribbon cutting. Talk about that.
So ribbon cuttings are just for new businesses, new as in 6 months of opening, kind of, because we want our businesses that are brand new to get that attraction, to make sure that people know in the community what is new in Rome, what is coming to Rome, kind of thing. And then we also have an open house, which is for people that might offer a new service but has been a member for a long time, or maybe just joined but has been a business for a long time. And people kind of got confused about, oh, well, they've been here for 5 years and they're getting a ribbon cutting for what? I don't understand.
Owner or something like that they didn't understand. Yeah.
And so the open house is an hour long, while ribbon cutting is only about 30 minutes, where you really get to, I think it's more of like the business owner really getting to talk about, what they offer, new services, maybe connecting with the community that they felt like has ignored them, maybe, and just kind of fun things. Like we have a couple of open houses coming up too, and you have to RSVP for those. Ribbon cutting, anyone can come, any chamber member can come to those, but.
And the ambassadors show up just to help network, or just to be in the photo op?
Well, they are our biggest.
Yes and yes. Yes.
They are our volunteers. I really could not do a lot of this stuff without them. They help me work the events, like business after hours, coffee and connections, annual meeting. They work their butts off. So they are our biggest volunteer group, or only volunteer group really, that gives a lot of their time dedicated to the chamber. So we very much appreciate them.
And how many ambassadors are there?
We have 23.
And you guys are co-chairs.
Yes.
And what's the term?
So,
as long as you
It's
want.
a point system. It's almost
Yes.
like working in the factories.
Yeah, so you actually have to have a certain amount of points, and each different things that you do get you points, and you have to keep up a certain amount each quarter. Otherwise,
Accountability.
Carly gives you the boot. Carly says, "Hey, you're out."
It's to hold you accountable. So
Yeah, it's a good system.
I'm an ambassador, so I need to come to a ribbon
Yes,
cutting.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You got to stay involved.
And we also, we pretty much will open up applications at the end of the year because, life changes, life gets busy. So some of our ambassadors might not be able to do that big of a time commitment for us. So, and it is a selective process too. We kind of want, businesses from each sector. We have a couple nonprofits, we have hospitality, we have small businesses, we have realtors. So it kind of definitely is trying to be a representation of our community.
All right. Well, I interrupted you as we were going down the list. You talked about open houses, then chamber celebrations.
Oh, that one's a brand new one. So we want to celebrate our businesses that are, celebrating an anniversary. So we do 1 year, 5, and then 10, 15, 20, you get the gist, which we are honestly, since we've done this, I have been so surprised how many businesses have been here for like more than 50 years. Mm-hmm. And so that is huge. We have a lot of businesses that are 25 years, but we have a ton of businesses in Rome that have been great chamber members that, have stayed with us, been still involved for like 50 years, which I think is so impressive. So that one's really, or we can also do chamber celebrations if like your business wins like a big award or like a state award kind of thing, or, something like that you're so proud of. So, and then we also have groundbreakings. That's also kind of new, kind of not. So we want to give our businesses, even small businesses, people think that this is just for huge, hospitals, manufacturers, but it's not. We want, if you are building and providing, adding to the economy in our county, we want to celebrate you. So you breaking ground, building a new building, contact us. We want to be part of that. And then we can do a ribbon cutting when it's finished and, a celebration. Like we want you to be recognized in our community.
And then coffee and connections and business after hours, kind of similar things, different time of day.
Yes. So the coffee and connections is in the morning from 8 a.m. till 9:30. And that really is for businesses to invite, more people in the morning.
Customers.
Yeah. Their customers, kind of see if again, you can show off anything if you would like. I like the morning ones just as much as the afternoon ones, but the morning ones is solely coffee and breakfast items. The business after hours is drinks, beer and wine, and then food as well. So that one, a little, some people like the after hours one's a little bit
slightly more popular.
Irish coffee.
Yeah. No judgment here. I'm not going to judge you.
So the businesses pay a little fee to host.
Yes.
And then brings chamber members to their, hey, come see us.
Yes.
And so that's kind of an on-site networking. It's not just about me crossing paths with you at a chamber event. You're in my facility. You're in my, okay.
Well, it's a good way if something has changed about your business. Like the last one, I guess the last one was at Barnsley, but then the one before that was at Gallagher.
Riverwood Senior Living.
Yeah. And so it's like, if with the insurance, they had just changed hands. And so it was kind of a way for them to be like, hey, we're the same, but we're different now. And we want to make sure that everybody here knows. And so it's a good way to kind of get new information out there about that.
There's a lot of co-op that goes on at the ribbon cuttings and the open house and things, because you see the small businesses, the bakeries, the catering businesses, they're offering their services at someone else's event. Yep. So you see a little bit of the whole community coming together at those.
Okay, going down the list here, annual meeting.
That is our biggest,
huge
event of the year. We pretty much just talk about,
college football.
Yeah.
Where we been, where we're going.
That's it.
Yeah. What is our objective? Like what are we trying to advocate this year? What's really affecting our community this year? And so Pam does such an incredible job of having kind of where we're going and has a plan, and especially our board members. And then we also announce our ambassador of the year there as well. So
the Small Business Award.
Nonprofit of the year award, manufacturer of the year, or I guess it's considered big business of the year, which is a certain amount of employees, and then small business of the year. And then there is a young professional of the year as well.
Well, I saw that here later, but and the last thing on here was the Business Expo, an annual event as well.
Yeah, and that's actually a lot of people's favorite event that we do is.
Well, you get swag.
Yeah, you get a lot of swag. And so pretty much that is just for businesses to kind of show off what they do in another setting. That is open to the public. So that's different because most of these events are really just for our chamber members.
Right.
So the Business Expo lets the public kind of see what businesses might be in Rome that you might not know.
It's the booths where people
Yeah,
can
they did
display
a forum
things
last year and
you can walk through and pick up a little swag from this company and that company.
And sample food.
Yes.
It's really, really good for newer, if you're a newer, and especially if you're smaller. Like there was the one last year that was that mobile bar that they had just started up, and they had that out
Across
there.
the bar bartending.
Across the bar,
Yeah, and all of a sudden you had all of these other. It really works. You have all the others. It's like, oh, we like to do events, but we don't want to have to provide. And so then you get a connection there. And so the Business Expo is a really great event.
Once again, we came back to drinking.
I was about to say.
It's only twice we've talked about it. Right?
And you had mentioned the young professionals. Are we segueing into a different little group here of items?
So Young Professionals is a group for anyone that's 21 to 40 and you have to pay a fee for that. But it is, for people that are younger that might not be from Rome or even from Rome that, you move back after college and you don't really have any more friends here. Like no one else is here and you have no idea because you just kind of stay in your own little bubble. It's a great way to meet people your age. And they do fun things. It's
Like really fun things.
yeah, like we've gone bowling, Rome Braves.
Axe throwing.
Yeah, I mean,
That one makes you laugh, the axe throwing.
Scared me a little bit. But.
It is scary. Anger management.
and then they also provide, some kind of professional development as well. I mean, you're getting to know, we do also lunches that, someone will come talk about, like the planning of Rome in the future. Like, what does this look like for young people in our community? That's going to be, the new upcoming business owners or the new community leaders in this kind of community.
Okay. Then I know you wanted to go down as, and how you tell me how you want to navigate this benefits.
So I can let our ambassadors talk about that because they kind of show off again what our benefits are about. I have to feel like I yell at them a lot. Be like, okay, do y'all know what we all offer? Sometimes,
Well, 'cause it's
at the very beginning, like when new ambassadors.
There kind of is
test.
sometimes. Yeah.
That's a great idea. I should start giving out quizzes.
Oh, no.
And our attendance went down.
We lost half the ambassadors. What is this, school?
So some of the benefits that I found before even joining with the ambassadors was the Chamber Advantage program, where you get the little keychain tag. You go to the businesses, you get, some of them give freebies. You get 10% off, 15% off, and you get added to this list of chamber members that is offering discounts to the community. And so that's one of them. The Monday newsletters. Make sure you read them if you do receive them.
They're very informative.
Yes, full of information about what's going on.
Events are coming up.
Yep, events coming up. They feature a small business of the week and nonprofit of the week, and so it's just a good way.
A lot of times the podcast will be, hey, here's who we had on the podcast.
A plug.
Oh, he's smiling.
He is big time. He's like, oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
But you have the job page where people can post their jobs. That's offered through the members.
A lot of time a first look for people looking for jobs.
Yeah, the jobs pages. That's
very
a good
vital.
thing. Yeah.
And the cool thing that comes with your membership is you get access to the chamber page in the system, and you can log in, you can add your events, you can add your jobs, you can add pictures, you can make it like, the Facebook
Like a little
social media page. But you have so many opportunities to advertise your business when you're part of the chamber. So you got referral. You got networking. There's so much is offered.
I will ask this. Do y'all feel like after becoming an ambassador, you feel like you have been even more plugged into the community?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Can you elaborate on that? Like did you just kind of think like coming in, it was just like a kind of a social group kind of thing?
I don't even know what I thought.
At first, when I joined, I was part of the young leaders of Rome. But then I became 40,
and they kicked
over
you
the
out.
age, and they kicked us out. When they changed the age, yes,
You aged out of young professionals.
I took that kind of personal. But I found that was, pretty cool to see others that's, our age and, developing and growing and what they're bringing and what they're serving to the community as well. But as far as for me, Ambassadors has absolutely kept me involved, kept me active in the community. I can walk down the street and they're like, "Oh, that's that girl from the Chambers," and I'm like, "It's not Chambers, it's Chamber," and it's just so good to see. And my little ones, I have a 11 and a 7-year-old, and they're in gymnastics, and all day long they're like, school gymnastics, let's go home. Mom, what'd you do today? Well, I went to this ribbon cut and I went to here, I did this, and they're just like, wow. How'd you do all that?
Yeah, mama's busy.
I know. I'm like, I don't know how I did it, but I made it, But being involved with the Ambassadors has really, really helped me to get involved. Again, I'm not from Rome. I'm not from Georgia. And, it was the opportunity. I was a little scared when I was first told, you're moving to Rome, Georgia. I was like, where is
Me
that?
too.
And
Where
my
is that?
last
It's
location.
Yeah.
My last location was in Conyers, Georgia, working in a hotel.
We're much better than them.
Okay, you see the nod.
I hope nobody's
but
listening.
I love what Rome has to offer and open their arms. I will tell you one person that was the very first person I met moving to Rome was JJ Johnson.
Oh, JJ.
Smoothie King.
Smoothie King.
Smoothie King.
And ever since, JJ has been like my ambassador of Rome, and he's kept me motivated. And even till this day, he's like, we're downtown and he runs across the street and he's getting ready to go to dinner. And he's like, my wife is waiting on me. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, but let's talk for a second. And I was like, okay. So he gives you pointers and ideas. And, he's just so, I don't know. It's just like that. Personality comes out to you. So again, he's the chair of the chamber, and that it bleeds it,
Yeah.
So
I think it's being involved. It gives you access to so many things that you might not otherwise know about. Just as a regular old citizen of Rome, it gives you knowledge about things that are happening in Rome and Floyd County, new businesses that are coming in, new events that are happening, new initiatives that the chamber is trying to take, whether that's through the government, locally or the state. And I think it's all about, really, the chamber is very invested in Rome. And I think if you commit to making the same investment with the chamber, you will find that you get an incredible amount out of it. So that is what I've found personally for me, for my nonprofit, for making friends. I mean, it runs the gamut of the things that the chamber can offer you.
Well, and you touched on a couple of these things, but I know some of these in the collabs that you were talking about, just to list them quickly, are Small Business Collective. You have the Governmental Affairs Committee. You have Education and Workforce Network, the Impact Nonprofit Alliance, the Minority Business Owners Initiative, and the Greater Rome Existing Industries Association, which is a mouthful that I guess y'all.
Yeah, it's GRIA, but most people don't know what GRIA stands for.
Well, it stands for Greater Rome Existing Industries Association.
There was a quiz the other day because I happened to also be on the board of directors for the chamber, and we had to know what GRIA was, and I was like, Greater Rome Existing Industries. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what the A is.
So you got 4 of the 5. That's 80%.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Just say and.
But just the fact that this touches so many different things: education, healthcare, government, business itself, minority ownership. It's just. It's
it does. They touch every aspect of the community, and the team that is there is really quite incredible. Pam, Alex, Amber, Eric, Carly.
I was going to say, you're forgetting one person. No. I'm just kidding.
Save the best for last.
They are a very passionate and hardworking group, and you can tell that immediately and that makes you want to be passionate and hardworking, and so it's a give and take relationship, and it's a good one.
And you've only been there 8 months.
8 months,
right? 9 months.
Yeah, I started in June.
And she started mid-year for ambassadors, so she had to come in, and it was
get us all in line.
And last year's group was. We were pretty intense, I think, a little bit more than this year.
We were pretty competitive last year. It was like, who was going to be the ambassador of the year?
Yeah.
Who's going to do it? And of course, this one to the left here, she
I didn't get it.
wires.
I didn't get Ambassador of the Year. That was
know.
David Tomlin stole it right underneath.
Stole it.
Wow, still competitive.
What? No, not at all.
Why didn't we get him?
Oh,
Ouch.
oh my gosh. We're gonna start a bar fight too.
Yeah.
Seriously, if he won, why is she here?
He could be the co next
Stick
year.
I'm teasing.
Are you though?
So yeah, I really am. So before we wrap up here, I want to give you ladies both an opportunity. Shakespeare Festival.
Yes.
What's coming up in your world?
We have Julius Caesar coming up on the Town Green, June 7th through the 11th.
Okay, so think about this,
Caesar,
Romans.
yes.
Think about this. Go ahead, do your little
Caesar
pun.
is coming to Rome and the Forum, finally.
See what she did there?
You see, we get the Forum.
Forum.
Yeah.
And
It took
Rome.
him, I told him earlier, it took him a couple seconds, like, oh yeah, the Forum.
Yeah, Rome.
Forgotten world.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. We have auditions coming up at the end of April. So if you have any interest in being a senator that stabs
Brutus.
Caesar, yes, exactly. Come audition for us.
Will the knives be real?
We don't talk about shh. Maybe one, just one knife will be real. No, I actually joked with Sammy Rich because we were talking about it, and I said, Sammy, we contemplated the idea of getting city and county officials if they want to be senators. And he was like, oh, that might be fun. I was like, hey, just let me know. Just one scene, you just got to come stab, and then that's all you do.
I thought you were going to ask Sammy to be Caesar.
Yeah. No, I feel bad for Sammy if he was Caesar. But yeah, so that's what we've got coming up. We're very excited about that.
And you?
I am actually currently helping out in the school system. I'm working with Rome City Schools as a parapro, and so very involved with the school on a daily basis, but also still doing the chamber thing and working on my own businesses and working on the hospitality world of children activities.
What does Tayesha not do? That's the question.
I tell you, I like people. I do. I traded adults for kids for a while here, so that's been a good thing. But just staying involved is my main thing, and being a face and being a voice for the chamber, for the DDA, for just the whole aspect of what Rome has to offer. Can't tell you how many people that I've ran into, and they're like, "What do you do? You should run for mayor." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can't run for mayor here in Rome. It's an appointed position, but just being able to share, and they have no idea what Rome has to offer." And, a lot of people have that belief of, you can't go here, you can't do this, and, oh, that's only for this, this type of person. And I'm just like, no, it's not. I'll go downtown, I'll walk downtown, I'll go, to events. So it's very much, staying involved is what I do.
I'll bet it's hard for any three of y'all to walk down Broad Street and not see somebody you know.
Exactly.
In the grocery store, man.
Yeah,
Sometimes
a lot.
I don't need to be seeing people.
Yeah, same. There's one downside. There's one downside to being that involved. You're like, I just want to go and not anybody see me.
Wow, you guys are like famous actresses. It's like Reese Witherspoon and Julia Roberts walking down the street or something, and everybody recognizes
That
you.
is, you're right. That is how it is.
I got over my fear of dogs being involved. Trust and believe me. So I can walk down the street now and be okay with a dog walking by.
Well, you have a dog now.
I do have a dog. I'm a dog mom. It's a struggle, but...
Okay. Contact information or final thoughts. Carly, was there anything you wanted to make sure you mentioned that we haven't yet?
So talking about the collabs, the small business collab, that meets quarterly, and any small business, which I mean like small business as in like it could be less than I think 100 people is like what we really consider
You don't
small.
have to have a building.
Yeah, you don't have to have a building, but we meet quarterly and we do workshops, seminars. We just sometimes let people come talk or like see what's going on with other businesses. Like, hey, are you struggling with this? But we do have one coming up in April. It is a FEMA class. Georgia Tech is actually putting this on for us because a lot of businesses don't know what to do if a natural disaster hits our community. I mean, our county that's right above us, Chattooga County, got hit with flooding, and a lot of businesses did not know what to do. So we want to prepare instead of, if something happens, then we're all like, what are we going to do? We want to prepare our businesses. This is a class that will kind of talk to you about what resources you have, make sure you have a plan in place. If we get hit with flooding, tornadoes, hell. I don't know what else. What other natural disasters?
Wait, hail.
my southern accent, Julie.
If the devil comes right through and gives us hell, we're going to have a plan.
Yes, pretty much. So y'all make sure you just check that out. Read your newsletter. You can RSVP, but seriously, that is just a great way to make sure that you are prepared.
Okay. And website for Chamber
is romega.com.
Okay.
And then you can obviously contact us. My email is kparker@romega.com. I would love to have a conversation with anyone that's listening that might be a member and was like, oh my gosh, I heard so many great things. I want to be involved. Contact me. I would love to get you involved. We have so many groups, so many things that we would love for our businesses to take advantage of. We really do want to be a resource for our businesses.
and contact information for y'all for the Shakespeare Festival or your entrepreneurship or what have you, or
really our Facebook and our Instagram is the biggest way to keep in contact with us, and then our website, which is just RomeShakespeareFestival.com.
And for me, it's just Amara Hospitality at gmail.com.
How do
right
you spell
now.
the?
Okay, so Amara is actually my middle name.
Okay,
so
got
it's Amara.
Okay.
Hospitality.
Okay.
So
at
just
Gmail.
at Gmail. Yes. And so just starting up. And so until I get the green light from all of the business to-dos, everything else will come with it. So it's just like I'm a true startup.
Good
startup.
luck.
Thank you.
Good luck with it. I love the entrepreneurial spirit. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for being here. And, Carly, give them hail. Oh, you've been listening to the Rome Floyd Chamber Show. I started to turn my mic down too early. We broadcast from the Hardy Realty Studios in downtown Rome. Thank you so much for listening.